laptop working properly. So I do apologize that we're late. If you are on with me live, come and say hi, drop us an emoji, let me know that you're here. So thank you so much for joining me. I really am grateful for all the love and support in this group. And thank you so much for those that join me every week live. I do really enjoy delivering these classes. So I really hope you are too, and that you are getting some value from each of the classes that I run. Also, if there is a particular topic that you'd like covered in the future, or if you're a coach or a trainer and would like to come on as a guest, please reach out to me and let me know. So very quickly, I started my business and this group as I'm passionate about helping women build successful businesses. And I just want everyone in this group to be thriving and profitable. So if this is the first time, I'm just getting a note from my virtual assistant saying I'm live. So if this is the first time you've joined me, I'm Jenny McCabe, and I am the go-to person for anything in life. Technical issues. And I empower ambitious women just like you to take courageous and inspired action in the pursuit of their dreams by helping them let go of anxiety and perfectionism so that they can regain their work-life balance, make more money and work less without feeling guilty, and also having the time freedom to be able to do more of what they love. So I'm also the host of this group, Work-Life Balance Secrets, and the owner of Jenny McCabe Coaching, where I offer my Unlock Abundance private coaching programs and VIP days. And I'll also be launching a new group program in early next year. So today, as we go into another lockdown here in the UK, starting on Thursday, for lots of people, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, and also with Brexit coming into force in January. I just wanted to talk about keeping a positive and abundance mindset. You can't control what is going on around you, but you can control what you think about and how you feel. So today, I am joined by my good friend Rebeccah Steele, who I'm very excited to have here. And she runs a successful coaching business specifically around business wellness. So today I just wanted to get another business owner on so that we can discuss the current situation and how we can overcome the challenges of being in business in today's climate, and also how we can support each other going forward. So welcome, Rebeccah. Would you like to say hello and introduce yourself and tell us quickly about what you do?
Thank you so much, Jenny, for having me on the show. And I really, really appreciate this collaborative effort. So my name is Rebeccah Steele, and I am the founder and the creator of the Healthy Women's Business, Healthy Businesswoman's Approach. And it's all about finding wellness in every part of your yourself in your business. Your business shines as you understand what drives you to a positive, energized mindset. What is it that drives you? And so that is where I'm coming from today. And, that's my coaching as well.
Thank you, Rebeccah. So, as I said, we're looking at going into the lockdown 2.0, starting the UK here in from midnight on Wednesday or Thursday morning, whatever you want to look at. So, as I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty for some people, but for me personally, I don't like to dwell on these. I appreciate that we have to know what's going on externally, but for me, I can't control those external factors. And like I said, we can control we can control what we think and feel. So with that in mind, what do you think are the main, or what from your feedback that you're getting, what are the main challenges that business owners are facing right now?
Right, that's an excellent question, Jenny, to begin this conversation with, because I feel that we were probably given a preview of what is coming up on Thursday at the beginning of the year. And for, myself included, that first month when we went into this first lockdown was, got off the merry-go-round, got off the busy track. And, everyone felt like, most business owners felt like they were on holiday for a bit, could catch their breath. And then, slowly it was like, as you do, when coming from away from a holiday, you think, well, what is it that I have to do? Get on with. And it was a mindset shift at that time that, oh, I can only do this much. Oh, actually, I can't do anything at all, because if you were a brick and mortar business owner, your business had to be shut. And you had to, line. And maybe, some business owners had a half and half presence. So they had, an outside presence, and they had an online presence.
Yeah.
And I think for those business owners, it was, they felt like they had a foot already in building up that online presence. However, for the most part, I think you speak about the uncertainty, and with uncertainty comes a sense of no safety, and especially women in businesses who had to also provide for their children, for their families, and thinking, and in a lot of cases, they ended up being the only breadwinner for the family. So there was this need to work harder, do more, and at the same time, possibly homeschooling kids at home. So there was a lot.
Isn't there, for certainly for women, not just business owners, but women having to work from home and look after, do the homeschooling as well, isn't it? So, I mean, I think a lot of people picked up quite a lot of skills, new skills, particularly if people were in a position to be able to put their business online. So for us as coaches, I don't know about you, but most of the coaching anyway was done online. But for some people, they had quite a few, like consultants, for example, had in-person meetings, or maybe they had audits to carry out. And so a lot of people have had to rethink their business and be able to learn new skills to put it online, right?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where I believe that the work that you and I are doing has risen up to the top, because I feel that a lot of business owners realized they couldn't do this alone. And I think this is where I feel that, there was another underlying current when gaining new skills. And this was, I've heard a lot about this, and I don't know if you have, Jenny. I heard a lot of this imposter syndrome, like, who am I to do this online when, maybe there's been an online guru who's been doing this for a long time, right? And
that's true. I mean, I have heard a lot of people talking about imposter syndrome. In fact, I'm part of a networking group, and There is somebody who's actually doing a presentation about imposter syndrome later this week. So this is coming more to the forefront at the moment.
Yes, yes, it is. And I've noticed this more amongst women in general, because there, you know, as women, we tend to multitask. And, you know, if there is something that we are not feeling good at doing, you know, there can be this feeling of imposter syndrome. However, I want to make a distinction here, Jenny, for our viewers, and that is, there is the imposter syndrome. I feel is like, for me, it would be like, oh, I've got an idea, I've got a skill set that I've just learned, or I'm in training about, or I'm getting coaching on, and I would love to explore this, experience this. And, you know, it's a bit like our kids, you know, when they were little, we all daydreamed, right? We all had something like we were going to be the next Superwoman, right? Or the next Superman, or the next, you know, whatever. Versus someone who feels inauthentic. They don't feel part of what they're doing. And I think there has to be a distinction there. And maybe we can turn this label around of imposter syndrome to something perhaps more uplifting. What do you think, Jenny? Shall we create something?
Yeah, that'd probably be quite a good course or program to create. I'm sure there's a lot of people, as they talking about that today. There seems to be quite a lot of people talking about this imposter syndrome that's out there, and there is that. The imposter syndrome, of course, comes from an underlying belief that you don't feel good enough, isn't it? So, you know, again, we're talking about talking about your mindset and your set of beliefs about yourself.
So, and, you know, if I can jump in there quickly, Jenny, to say that, is it, you know, the belief is definitely there. Am I good enough? However, you know, as I recently heard, actually, we also understand am I qualified enough? You know, am I qualified? And I do feel that this, as women, you know, I feel that, oh my goodness, we come with a range of experiences. And we ask ourselves, are we qualified enough? Wow.
Well, I think that falls under good enough. Am I good enough? You know, am I qualified enough? Am I knowledgeable enough? Am I, you know, I think that does fall into a broad spectrum, the belief that am I good enough? So
yes,
I think, you know, these I mean, and it's, you know, this is a really common theme for a lot of women, that you know, that those feelings of, am I good enough? Am I qualified enough? Am I skilled enough? That does bring up the imposter syndrome.
Yes, and you know, I'd like to speak into that for a little bit, to say that, you know, when I went to college, or when I finished my studies or skill training, you know, perhaps a lot of it was in my head, it was theory. And, you know, in that sense, we all have to start somewhere. Yes. We all have to start with a step forward. And I do feel that taking that step is really turning that challenge and challenging that belief, right?
It's also symbolic, taking that first step, isn't it?
Yes.
And as I always say to my clients, you know, you're better off taking imperfect action than waiting till everything is perfect. Because if you wait till everything is perfect, you could be waiting a long time. But what's perfect to you is good enough. It is already good enough 6 months ago for somebody else.
Yes.
You know, you already have that bank of knowledge, those skills, and there are people out there waiting to hear from you.
Absolutely.
You know, by waiting till something is perfect, or not launching your service or your product because you don't think somehow it's good enough, you know, you're doing a disservice to other people, because there's people out there that genuinely want to hear from you. You have got something of value to somebody else. Waiting for that perfect moment is it may never come, and you know that's
that is so true.
Killer. It's a business killer. You will deny yourself of income if
absolutely.
You
I mean, this is what happened when I redesigned my business from looking at wellness. Like, where are we looking for wellness? And that wellness is the first step to understanding wellness is having that insight that, your first step is your step towards something you want, something, and like you say, the timing of it is it's so important. It's like, what we talk about, having that mindset is also an intuitive, that gut instinct. Like, we know that we have to just, pick up the phone, call somebody. We just have to get online and do what we'd set ourselves with steps to do. Just like, even as you mentioned, we had planned this for 1 p.m. and outside the things that were outside our control, when we think, could we control that? No, but I would like us both to be an example to those out there, to see that we took that step to, moving past frustration, or thinking, oh, people might be waiting for us, to knowing that I have control over what it is I'm wanting to do, and I'm still going to come online.
Yeah. I mean, say, you just have to keep taking that action, don't you? And by taking that action, you're training yourself to how do I put it? So when you take that action, it starts creating a momentum. Then
absolutely, and momentum is just fantastic. And I'd like to say, Jenny, do you remember a time where you thought, I mean, let's take something simple. I know that we talk a lot about your taking your dog out for Lola out for a walk, and there might be times you think, that we think, oh, you know what, I don't feel like going out for a walk, but Lola would like to go out. She would love to go out for a walk, and it's a beautiful sunny day out there, but you have a to-do list to do, and you think, well, I'm going to take 5 minutes to just get outside, and breathe in some fresh air and do what you have to do, and take Lola for a walk. And in that time that you're out, you've created a momentum towards perhaps a fresh outlook on what it is that you had to do with approaching your to-do list. And you think, oh gosh, that feels so much better. Or,
I do, obviously getting outside anyway is is a good thing to do, getting yourself moving, but it also gives you space to think. Sometimes actually when I go on my walks, that's when I'm at my most creative. Ideas come to me, and you can read, and also it gets your adrenaline going, even if it's just a walk. And I always feel really good afterwards. Sometimes you're right. I don't know, I can't be bothered to go for a walk today. I've got so much to do. But actually, once I get out walking, I'm really happy that it.
I know, right? And especially in the autumn colors that we have over here, I think it's so good. Now, I want to also give a shout out to those of our women in who are in business and don't have that availability to go out. Or perhaps going out is a luxury for them. And I think we've spoken about this, doing some sort of meditative exercise, or I love doing some gentle yoga, even if 5-10 minutes of
Yeah,
it's creating movement, it's creating breath,
yeah,
and breath and movement in that 5 or 10 minute yoga. And there's so much online for that.
I've got I downloaded a yoga app, so
Yeah.
it does quite a few different styles of yoga. So depending on how I feel, I can just pick a style of yoga. So if whether that's a relaxing yoga or something a little bit more strenuous, or maybe I just want a restorative yoga.
Yeah.
Maybe if I did a rigorous yoga the day before, I can do a restorative yoga the next day. But it does open up, it helps you with your breathing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They do say that, when the shoulders contract, ideas don't flow in. And in fact, you feel sort of more, you feel crushed. And, to think about what's happening out there, referring back to how we started our conversation today, it's like, how do we manage with the up and coming circumstances? And the point is that what I would say is that I start with gratitude, gratitude for what I have, whether it's access to water, access to electricity, access to a mobile phone, to it's there's some of those access to my breath, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
with practicing gratitude, when you practice, if you're feeling anxiety or fear, so fear and anxiety, they can't exist in the same place as hope and gratitude.
Yeah.
So when you do practice gratitude, if you journal and you get your journal out and you start thinking about everything that you're grateful for in that moment today, then you start pushing out those feelings of anxiety or fear, because you're only focusing on one thing, and that is gratitude or hope. So I mean, I practice gratitude every day.
Same here.
I write in my journal and I do my affirmations. I write out my goals. It keeps me focused on where I am now and where I want to be. But it's also, I think we need to also be mindful of our thoughts as well. And journaling does help that. So when you journal, it's okay to feel these things, we all have, we're made up of thoughts and emotions and feelings, but we do need to be able to try and control those thoughts and feelings. And a great place is to do that is writing in your journal. How do I feel today? How do I want to feel? And organizing your thoughts so that you can change them potentially from negative thoughts into positive thoughts.
That is so true. And I want to share with you today, Jenny, and with our viewers, that yesterday I had the privilege of listening to an interview with Lord Farmer, who is one of the lords in the House of Lords here in the UK. And he came from a very business, entrepreneurial mindset when he was in the city, right? And, moving into the House of Lords, he said one of the big things for him was having a spiritual connection, and that For him, it was Christianity. And he said, it doesn't matter who your spiritual connection is. You could be Muslim, you could be, Hindu, or any one of those. Whatever it is, he said, the one thing that is a non-negotiable, and I feel that as well, and I believe we all do, is that spiritual connection to knowing that there is something bigger than us that gives us, guidance as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've gone over 25, nearly gone half an hour, I think.
There's a lot to talk about.
I know. Well, yes, there is. So we'll probably call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me, Rebecca. It's been great having you on. It's nice for people to see other people on this live training other than me as well.
Oh, I tell you what, I love listening to you, Jenny, because you bring such a wealth of knowledge and expertise into our world. And, this is what we're here to do, is to lift all boats in this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm very much about, collaborating and supporting women in business. I think this is a great time for a woman to be in business. More and more women are going into business. And, I just want people to feel supported, and because being in business can be lonely, can't it? So
oh gosh, tell me about it. It's like, this is where
with I miss my one-to-one, my in-person coffee, meetings, having coffee with with my network of women who I see on a regular basis, both friends and people, women in business. I do miss that. I mean, obviously the next best thing is Zoom. But, it is it can be difficult for some people to to cope with all of those those issues, those challenges.
And I'll just towards the end of our conversation here, I'll say this is where having someone to hold you accountable, to hold that space for you, and that could be having a coach, right?
I have coaches.
I've
coached different things.
Because it's like I've got what I need. However, I want to move on to the next level. How do I do that? And doing it by ourselves is,
well, it's a long journey. If you do it by yourself, it takes longer. If you have a coach, they're going to hold you, as they hold you accountable, hold you as powerful. And they'll pull you forward. And so, most importantly, if you've got your goals and your vision, your coach is going to hold you accountable and hold you powerful to your own goals and vision. Which, if you did that on your own, you would still get there, but it might take twice as long, or 3 times as long, or 4 times as long.
And time is moving so fast that it's like such expensive time to lose.
My son, he turned 18 this year. It's like, oh my goodness.
I know. It's like, remember these years and remember these times, and let's use our time and put as much value in it for ourselves. That is the first stage of wellness.
Great. So thank you again, Rebecca. Really loved having you on today. So for everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. And next week's Money Alchemy class will be on Tuesday, the 10th of November at 1 or about 1. So thanks again for joining us. Also, if you'd like to know more about how we can work together, you can book a free discovery call with me. I'll put it in the link in the comments. So thank you again for joining me. My love and happiness to you.
Bye.